Going to discuss together is very important because we are going to welcome the TICAD 8 in Tunisia, August 27, 28. And I think that it is a great opportunity for all of us to get into the nitty-gritty of this event, the main important items that we're going to discuss together, along with this wonderful panel who are going to make different presentations. First of all, I'd like to say that we are very happy and glad to welcome His Excellency Minister of Digitalization and Statistics from Algeria, His Excellency Houssine Cherjabil. He is not yet present, but he is coming very soon. Today, the panelists are the following. We will start with His Excellency Shimizu Shinsuke, who is, of course, very well known today in Tunisia, the famous Japan ambassador to Tunisia. He has been very, very supportive and active throughout the different seminars we organized together in order to prepare TICAD 8. Then, our second panelist is Mr. Ghanmi Abdelbasit, who is Director General of FIPA, Foreign Investment Promotion Agency. Following Mr. Ghanmi, we will listen to Liaki Tikada, Director General of JETRO Paris. We welcome him again here in Tunisia. This is, I guess, his first visit, but I think that he is very familiar with Tunisia because we already work together. Then we will listen to his Mr. Maccabi-San, General Manager for Africa Mitsubishi Corporation. Welcome again in Tunisia, and we'll be very happy to listen to your presentation. Then it will be Mr. Sekimoto, Director General of Maghreb Itochu Corporation, very important corporation, well known throughout Africa and worldwide. Finally, Mr. Meyada San, Director General of Paris Office of Nippon Export and Investment Insurance. These are the panelists. I'm quite sure that it will be very, very instructive for us. Illuminating even, so that you can, at the end of this session, have a clear idea about what TICAD 8 is. But before doing that, if you don't mind, I'm going to present to you the preparation that we have made. The Chamber of Commerce, Tunisian Japanese Chamber of Commerce, worked on TICAD 8, preparing it so that you can gather some information and maybe some steps that will be certainly interesting for you. So please, I'm going to proceed with this presentation. It began in December 4th, 2020. As soon as we learned that we will host TICAD 8 in Tunisia, we started working on that. In order to be effective and in order to go straight to the point and try to put on the table concrete, doable, implementable projects, we first of all made sure that we find the sectors or identify the sectors that are of common interest for three parties: the Japanese part, the Tunisian part, and of course the other African countries' part. So this is the spirit of TICAD. It is not about Tunisia and Japan, it is about Japan and the continent, the whole continent, Africa. So that was the main general frame of TICAD 8. So the identification led us to underline 7 main sectors. We began with healthcare and pharmaceutical industry. Then we moved to automotive, which was really a success because no less than 120 investors from Japan attended this seminar online. Then it was artificial intelligence, because we wanted the startups, Tunisian startups, to be present and to take part and present their own works. Artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0 was the following one. Oops. Right, on November 4th, we worked on infrastructure. Then we moved to training in technology and medical sector. We thought that it was very important to present to our Japanese friends the potential Tunisia has in terms of training and training centers. And I think that it was absolutely illuminating, because now we know that we can rely on Tunisia and have Tunisia as a platform, at least from that perspective. On February 22, we moved to renewable energies and sustainable development. By the way, all the conferences were live. All the conferences were in person. No conference was done online, despite the difficulties with COVID-19. And on March 17th, we again moved to agribusiness and the blue economy. It was also again very important, because we know the expertise of our Japanese friends in these sectors. Finally, in March 31st, it was the closing seminar devoted to financing, because we noticed that the business community is not very aware of the financing mechanisms and systems that are related to TICAD. Most of them thought that it was a question of money to be granted to different countries and distributed equally on different countries. That is not the case. It's very simple. If you have a relevant, profitable, doable project, it may be supported financially. That is the only principle. Okay, so this is why we really insisted on the relevance and the importance of the project and its African dimension. Finally, the object of all these seminars, it was not just to present the sectors. The idea was to present some projects. We then opened a platform on the Chamber's website. On that platform, there's a file to be filled in, and we asked anyone from Tunisia and even from elsewhere to subscribe, to apply, to put his or her own project on this platform, and then we proceeded with the selection of the main projects. When I say main, it doesn't mean that the projects that were not selected were not important, but they were not within the TICAD frame. That was the objective. It has to be within the TICAD frame. In other words, it has to be of interest for the Japanese, the Africans, and the Tunisians. This is a win-win-win objective. So we gathered 100 projects. From those projects, we selected 31, and in those 31 projects, we have 11 of them which are in PPPs, spontaneous PPPs, okay? That is to say, it can be implemented both by the private and the public sector. So here we are. This is the White Book. And these are basically the main sectors we worked upon. Now, what are the next steps? We all know that TICAD 8 is going to take place 27, 28 of August, and we thought that the White Book should be open, should remain open for our African brothers and sisters. And it is also still open for Tunisian investors and basically for startups who would like, again, to apply and present their projects. So it is, again, open until June 20th for Tunisians and June 30th for other African countries. The process is very simple. You just go, once again, on the platform, you apply. We have a small committee working on these projects in order to select, again, the best projects possible. Everything has to be in English and in French, both languages. And I think that we will certainly publish a second edition of the White Book by mid-July. The final edition will be printed, most probably 3,000 hard copies for that, and it will be printed for the occasion of TICAD 8 late August. The upcoming events, co-organized by the Chamber and other partners, we will have the participation of the Chamber in a CEO Forum, Africa, that is due to take place in Abidjan, 12th and 30th of June. It will be a very important occasion for us to present, once again, TICAD 8 for our African friends and brothers. Then we are working hard along with Jethro Paris, and it is in progress to be confirmed very soon. We are going to work on a webinar on the ground of the White Book. We would like Jethro to select the projects they think them relevant and interesting, and then we will organize a B2B webinar, most probably early July. The date is supposed to be July 7th. It is, again, to be confirmed. The other important event we are working on is, of course, related to the side events that are going to take place on August 26. The side events are very important. Business is means to connect people together. And connecting people, it means that we have to get out of the box and make people match and meet. And this is what is going to take place on August 26th. And it is going to be organized jointly with FIPA, and Mr. Abdelbas is here to confirm that. The Ministry of Industry also is involved in it, and the Ministry of Economy. So the three of us, we are working on a program for the 26th, and I hope that it will meet your expectations. Finally, there's the co-organization of a forum, an innovation forum, that is going to take place on August 27. It is very important because the TICAD, one of its objectives is to insist on innovation and startups. So it is going to be the occasion for our startups and innovation projects to be presented and discussed in that forum. So this is it. This is the program. These are the following steps that we are going to respect, hopefully, in order to make TICAD 8 profitable for all of us. So we will probably discuss that later if you have questions, but for the time being, we're going to proceed with the presentation of different speeches to be made by the panelists. We are going to begin with His Excellency Shinseiko Shimizu to make a presentation. Each of you will have 7 minutes precisely in order to fulfill your job. Thank you so much for being here, so numerous today. And please, can you proceed to the mic? Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for coming at the early hour. And first of all, I would like to thank Hedi Benabes for introducing us. And I thank also panelists who accepted to come from different parts of the world, from Paris, from Johannesburg, and other parts. To present the TICAD and present the activities in the framework of African business. And I would limit myself to present you three things. One is what is the TICAD, the concept and principles. And the second is what is the theme of the TICAD 8, which will be held August 27 and 8. And third is what is the meaning of holding TICAD in Tunisia. First of all, I have already distributed a small brochure about TICAD. It's written in French. Maybe you might make reference later. But globally, I would like to say about the TICAD two characteristics. One is the founding principles of the TICAD, ownership and partnership. This is a horizontal partnership between Japan and Africa, which replaces the traditional vertical partnership between the donors and the recipients. So the ownership and the partnership is the two principles of the TICAD. Gives initiative to African and international community, including Japan, will cooperate with the African initiative as an equal partner. This is a characteristic of the TICAD. The second characteristic is driving force by the private sector in the strategy of development in Africa. At the beginning of the TICAD, the main tool of development was also the official development assistance. But as the African continent took off, the focus of the strategy shifted from the official development assistance to the private sectors and private investment. And TICAD was the first forum to put emphasis on this aspect of private sector's role in the development strategy of Africa. And this is the first point. And the second point is what is the theme or the main focus of the TICAD 8 of this year. This will be to build back better the African economy. Build back better African economy. The African economy has been severely affected by the COVID and is being further aggravated by the geopolitical situation in Europe. And in that sense, we need to build back Africa better. That means recovery with more resilience, more dynamism, and more adapted to the new mode of life and work accelerated by the COVID. And in this endeavor, the private sector continues to play a crucial role, especially the young entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs will carve out the new business frontiers. In Africa continent, we witnessed that the economy is leapfrogging through the innovation, such as digital transformation. And many Japanese and African youth are trying to solve the social issues like the environment, health issues, financial disparity through the innovations. So these entrepreneurs will play a crucial role to build back Africa better. And the government will play a very important role as a partner of the private sectors. And there are many ways for the government to support these activities. The TICAD 8 will focus on this private and public partnership. For example, the government side will help the human resources development. For example, Japan is supporting the entrepreneurships by Abe Initiative. Abe Initiative is a program which combines the university education and internship at enterprises. And we also initiated the Ninja program. Ninja is you know the Ninja, what is Ninja? Next investment program. This support the startups in Africa. And towards the TICAD 8, we are considering new initiatives to support startups and also the green economy. And Japan, the government also support the private sector by creating a favorable climate for business, especially in the juridical environment. And the key for the investment and trade is transparency, good governance, and political stability. So the government side should act to create, improve the business climate so that the entrepreneurs can prosper. This is the main theme of the next TICAD. And the third point is, what is the meaning of holding the TICAD in Tunisia? The last TICAD summit held in Africa goes back to 2016 in Nairobi, in Kenya. If we compare the TICAD and post-COVID, post-TICAD in Kenya, we noticed that the number of Japanese investment in Kenya increased by 3 times. But we cannot expect the same thing to happen in Tunisia because Kenya's market size is much bigger than the size of Tunisia. So we need to think about different methods to promote Japanese investment in Tunisia. TICAD is not just the aggregate addition of bilateral investment. As Mr. Hedi Ben-Abbes told, this is a multilateral forum. So we could leverage the fact that there are 50 African countries by opening new opportunities through the multilateral partnership. The key word is triangularity, as Mr. Hedi Ben-Abbes put it. So we need to develop African-wide developments projects. And in this sense, the white book that Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tunisia, Japan, was very useful. They developed through the roadmap that Mr. Hedi Ben-Abbes explained, many viable projects which present the African perspective. So we would like to examine this the content of the white book exploit the Tunisians' strong points as a gateway and platform for Africa. I think through this process, we can develop African-wide multilateral, trilateral projects toward the TICAD 8. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Excellency. I'm not going to comment your presentation. Maybe we have to proceed with all the presentations at once. Then we will come back to some discussion and exchange with the audience. Please welcome Mr. Abdelbasit Ghanmi from FIPA. He's going to make his own presentation, maybe also in relation to the TICAD 8 and the preparations going on in Tunisia. Please. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Baabez. Very good morning to all our guests. First of all, on behalf of the Foreign Investment Promotion Agency, I would like to congratulate the organizer of FITA 2022 for the success of this edition, for the first edition post-COVID-19. I am very pleased to join this webinar, this panel. We are used to work within webinars. It's a pleasure to join these panelists, and we have friends from Japan, and I wish them a pleasant stay within us. So the theme of this and the subject of this panel is the triangular cooperation, Japan, Tunisia, and Africa. Let me first give you an overview about the Invest in Tunisia agency, because it's indeed in line with our strategy. So the Foreign Investment Promotion Agency is the government leading organization in charge of promoting Tunisia as an attractive business destination. So we have three main missions. First of all, the promotion of Tunisia as a business destination. And that's why we are involved in TICAD, because we do it through these promotional events, and TICAD will be the opportunity for us indeed to promote our country as a business destination. The second mission is the attraction of foreign investors, and we are indeed supporting foreign investors during 27 years of the existence of this agency. And the third mission is the aftercare service. So we are looking for new investors, but we take care also of existing ones. So it's very important that we are at the side of foreign investors, and this is our daily business, and we are committed to that. So back to the triangular cooperation, you know that one of the main assets of Tunisia is related to its geographic position. So we are well positioned to be at this triangular cooperation because we are at the 4 steps of big markets. So we are near Europe, and we are linked with free trade agreement. We have also bilateral free trade agreement with neighboring countries. And also we are enhancing our integration into Africa. You know that Tunisia has strong historical links with sub-Saharan African countries, but in recent years we are really looking to expand our integration, in particular to the eastern and the western part of Africa. That's why we have joined the COMESA agreement, and also we are among the first countries to sign the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is in force in the early 2021. And now we are happy to see that over 38 countries have already joined and ratified this agreement, and we are in the process of lifting 90% of the custom duties, which is a good sign to see that Africa is opening for the outside world, and Tunisia is also committed to this trend. So the second asset is, of course, related to the talents. Tunisia has a large pool of skilled labor force, and this is one of the main assets that we are able to deliver highly skilled labor force at competitive costs. So the most important thing that we are able to deliver the right skills, but we are also the most competitive country in the region, and it's very important. We have a friendly business environment, and we are working to improve the business environment, to facilitate and to open our market, and also to simplify the procedure. It's a milestone, and we are committed with our partners, both from the public and the private sector, to improve the business climate, and hopefully soon in next June, next month, during the Tunisia Investment Forum, which I seize this opportunity to invite you to the 20th edition of the Tunisia Investment Forum. We will be announcing the reforms which are undertaken by the Tunisian government right now. We are working really on these issues, and we will be able to announce new measures which are, of course, focusing on the improvement of the business climate in Tunisia. We will also announce the new branding for our country. It's very important that we are in line also with the international trends, and also we'll be focusing on the value chain and the position of our country as an attractive destination, either within the post-COVID, we know that the movement now, and also within the current crisis in Ukraine, and we believe that Tunisia is the right place really to invest in the coming years. Also, we will be focusing on the PPP, public-private partnership. You know that we need really to boost the public-private partnership, and in particular for sectors renewable energy, which is of great interest, and in particular green hydrogen for our friends from Japan, and we have been discussing late months about some opportunities, and we are really pushing to boost the sector, and which is also, we have the need also for our economy, because taking into consideration the current situation related to the rise of the energy cost. So what we are doing, so we are working together, and we are coordinating with all our partners, and in particular the Tunisian Japanese Chambers of Commerce, and we have been involved in the whole process, which is the roadmap presented by Mr. Ben Abbas, to identify the projects, because we believe that it will be the good opportunity for all of us to work together to identify the projects which will be of interest for the Japanese investors for the African continents. And it was really a milestone, and I congratulate the Tunisian Chamber, Japanese Chamber of Commerce. Of course, the support of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Japan to Tunis, and also our embassy in Tokyo. And we have been working together, and we are able now to present the first edition of the White Book, which of course it's a good start, and we are looking to add, of course, the PPP projects and also startups, which will give you an overview about the opportunities in Tunisia. You know that startups is very important. We have promulgated what we call the Startup Act. Now we have witnessed the emergence of more than 700 startups, and some of them, they become big players on the international market, and I think it's a good sign to see that young entrepreneurs are committed, and they are also promoting the opportunities of Tunisia. So I just want to add that FIPA is really committed to this trend. We are looking to enhance cooperation ties with Japan. We are very happy to see some Japanese companies already have invested in Tunisia and they are expanding. Of course, we are looking for more, but we are happy to see big companies, and they are international companies in Tunisia. And we are focusing in the recent years really to promote Tunisia in the Japanese market, and we believe that in the near future we will be ready to welcome more Japanese investors. And also our friends from JETRO, we have signed during the TCAD 7 Memorandum of Understanding, which looks to really to work together as all the stakeholders in order to enable to give better understanding for the Japanese investors about all the opportunities prevailing in Tunisia in high added value sectors. I would like to highlight that Japanese companies are investing in high technological activities, in particular for the automotive components and also for the electronic and in the agri-business. Among the big companies, Yazaki, Sumitomo, Waikiki, Saraya also, but we are looking for more and we are in contact with other companies. So Tunisia is ready. I believe that with TCAD 8, we will be ready for more Japanese investment in Tunisia, and we are really ready to support you during all the process in order to enable you to invest in Tunisia and explore also and take benefit of the advantages of Tunisia, in addition to the geographic position, the human resource, but also the openness to other markets, in particular Africa. And it has been highlighted yesterday that Africa is for today and for the future. There are good prospects, and we are ready to work together to invest together, Japan, Tunisia, for the African market. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ghanmi. I think that his presentation was very clear. He put emphasis on Tunisian assets as a location for investment, not as in relation to its market size, but it is in relation to its strategic position, labor force, qualified labor force, competitiveness, and yes, all these elements are true. Maybe we need to improve better the investment environment, and this is a long way to go again, but we need to be very clear with our friends, Japanese friends, because they know the situation in Tunisia. It is to be improved, and we will work hard, the private sector and the public sector, to improve the business environment. Thank you so much again. Now I'd like to welcome Mr. Takeda-san, Director General of JETRO Paris, to make his presentation. Please. Yes, it's here.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais tout d'abord vous remercier de m'inviter à cet événement. Je m'appelle Hideaki Takeda, directeur général de JETRO Paris. Permettez-moi tout d'abord de présenter brièvement JETRO, qui sommes-nous. En un mot, JETRO est l'homologue japonais de FIPA de la Tunisie, donc chez l'ambassadeur Ghanmi. Et nous sommes une agence administrative en disposant d'un important réseau international avec 76 bureaux dans le monde entier. La mission de JETRO est de promouvoir les échanges commerciaux et la collaboration industrielle entre le Japon et le monde, l'Est du monde, ainsi que les investissements étrangers au Japon. Dans le contexte des affaires avec des pays africains, JETRO a considérablement renforcé sa présence après le TCAD 5 en 2013. Les bureaux au Maroc, en Éthiopie, au Mozambique et au Ghana ont été ouverts. On compte un total de 9 bureaux au continent africain. Les Africa Desk sont, eux, des services dédiés installés au sein de plusieurs grands bureaux de JETRO situés hors d'Afrique, Londres, Paris, Istanbul, Dubaï et New Delhi. Ces Africa Desk font le relais avec nos bureaux situés sur le continent africain. Pour mon bureau à Paris, nous sommes chargés des projets de JETRO ici en Tunisie, en Algérie et en Mauritanie. JETRO a adapté ses dispositifs pendant la période de Covid, par exemple online business meetings pour continuer à soutenir les partenariats afro-japonais. Maintenant, je voudrais vous présenter nos 2 nouveaux services, Africa Business Desk et J-Bridge. Premièrement, Africa Business Desk, dispositif récemment ajouté au sein du siège de JETRO. On compte actuellement 15 pays africains couverts. Et 91 sociétés ont utilisé ce service en 2021 pour un total de 246 consultations. Deuxièmement, c'est le J-Bridge. C'est une plateforme qui facilite le matching entre les entreprises japonaises et les startups étrangères. JETRO a décidé cette année d'élargir ce service au continent africain. Le principe est de permettre la coopération entre les entreprises japonaises et les startups africaines en visant aux alliances commerciales et aux alliances capitalistiques. Les secteurs concernés sont le numérique et les solutions vertes. Ici, je voudrais vous présenter les sentiments des entreprises japonaises sur le marché africain. JETRO réalise chaque année une étude auprès des entreprises japonaises implantées à l'étranger. Pour 2021, 258 sociétés implantées dans 21 pays africains ont ainsi répondu. Comme vous pouvez le constater, les entreprises japonaises pensent les perspectives sur le marché africain positives, bien sûr. Près de la moitié d'entre elles ont la volonté d'élargir leurs projets en Afrique à court terme. C'est en effet la demande de marché, son potentiel de la croissance économique et des ventes à l'export qui sont les 3 premières raisons pour élargir leurs projets en Afrique. Mais quelle fonction? On peut aisément imaginer qu'un environnement de l'investissement plus attractif inciterait les entreprises à investir plus massivement dans des sites productifs, plutôt que dans des représentations commerciales. Mais c'est un travail de longue haleine qui ne peut être mené qu'en bonne concertation avec les autorités de chaque pays. La moitié des entreprises japonaises pensent que l'importance de l'Afrique a augmenté pendant les 5 dernières années. 60% d'entre elles pensent que l'importance augmentera pendant les 5 prochaines années. Elles attendent beaucoup de l'accord de libre-échange, la ZLECAf, zone de libre-échange du continent africain. De fait, le pourcentage des entreprises qui ont déjà utilisé ou ont l'intention d'utiliser l'accord de libre-échange a triplé au cours des 15 dernières années. À l'heure actuelle, l'accord de libre-échange en Afrique le plus utilisé par les entreprises japonaises est la communauté de développement d'Afrique australe. D'autre part, l'accord de libre-échange qu'elles veulent utiliser dans l'avenir est l'accord ZLECAf. Alors qu'un tiers des entreprises japonaises considèrent l'accord ZLECAf comme un atout pour leurs affaires, un peu moins de la moitié estime que le fonctionnement de ZLECAf est incertain. En ce qui concerne les secteurs prometteurs pour les produits de consommation, en premier lieu, les produits agroalimentaires en raison de l'augmentation de population. Elles estiment que le secteur des énergies renouvelables soit également prometteur. Parmi les secteurs identifiés comme prometteurs figurent les services et particulièrement les services médicaux. Pour l'agriculture, la volonté des gouvernements d'accroître le taux d'autosuffisance alimentaire est particulièrement pertinent en ces temps de guerre en Ukraine. Je vais parler brièvement de la TICAD 8. JETRO a organisé diverses manifestations parallèles à la TICAD dans le passé. JETRO envisage de tenir une conférence d'affaires à la TICAD 8 qui aura lieu ici à Tunisie les 27 et 28 août prochains. Je vais terminer mon intervention par les perspectives de la Tunisie pour les entreprises japonaises. Nous pensons tout d'abord à sa position géostratégique fort avantageuse, proche de l'Europe et du Moyen-Orient, comme l'ambassadeur Gami a évoqué tout à l'heure. La Tunisie détient un autre atout important, ce sont des ressources humaines de niveau international dans les domaines scientifiques et informatiques. Ces deux atouts pourraient se voir renforcés par l'éventuelle révision de la chaîne d'approvisionnement mondiale. À la fin, nous félicitons la réalisation du livre blanc. Nous vous remercions infiniment du dévouement de la CCITJ et tout particulièrement son président, M. Benavès, pour avancer les relations entre les entreprises tunisiennes et africaines en général et les entreprises japonaises. Je vous remercie pour votre attention.
Je vais peut-être commenter en français cette fois-ci, puisque l'intervention a été en français. Je pense qu'il y a quelques mots clés à retenir de l'intervention de M. Takeda-san. Tout d'abord, la présentation évidemment de JETRO et l'importance de JETRO sur le plan international. Les services qu'ils peuvent apporter, principalement le matching entre les entreprises et les investisseurs, avec un intérêt particulier pour les startups, qui est visiblement un élément central de cette TICAD 8. L'idée de l'expansion, c'est-à-dire du développement de l'investissement sur le plan africain en général, l'importance des FTA, les Free Trade Agreements, éventuellement, qui sont réellement un leverage pour l'expansion économique, et bien sûr, l'intérêt qu'il porte pour la Tunisie à l'occasion de la TICAD 8. Non seulement il nous a expliqué que la Tunisie était devenue au premier semestre de 2021 avec le Japon, plutôt le Japon est devenu le troisième investisseur en Tunisie au premier semestre 2021, c'est-à-dire devant l'Allemagne, et donc ça veut dire beaucoup de choses sur l'intérêt que portent nos amis japonais sur la Tunisie, l'intérêt qu'ils portent aussi sur le développement de leur business en Tunisie et en particulier dans le secteur de l'automotive. Donc on voit un peu les perspectives. Encore une fois, cela revient à nous, Tunisiens, de promouvoir notre pays, d'améliorer encore une fois l'environnement d'affaires. Merci, Monsieur Takeda-san. Merci pour votre mot gentil sur la Tunisie et sur les perspectives à venir. Now, I'd like to welcome Mr. Makabe-san, who is General Manager for Africa Mitsubishi Corporation. He's going to make his speech, and I think that Mitsubishi is already present in Tunisia, and they have other perspectives on Tunisia for the coming TICAD 8. Please welcome.
Bonjour, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Tsunehiro Makabe, and I am Mitsubishi Corporation's regional CEO for Africa. I am very honored to have this opportunity to address you. Today, I'd like to give you an overview of Mitsubishi Corporation, its initiatives in Africa, and our expectation for TICAD 8. First, overview of Mitsubishi Corporation. Mitsubishi Corporation is one of the core companies of Mitsubishi Group, which is the largest trading and business investment company in Japan. Our business domain encompasses almost all business fields, with mineral resources, natural gas, automobiles, and the food industry, and power as our main business areas. The recent announced consolidated revenue for 2021 was 150 billion US dollar, and the consolidated net income was 8.5 billion US dollar. Our business activities in Africa, including trading, EPC, and new business development, and infrastructure, power, agriculture, and the mineral resources sector with 11 offices, together with our subsidiaries and affiliates. On a consolidated basis, our trading business in Africa is worth around 1.8 billion US dollar annual basis. After World War II, we began maize trading in 1955, then sent our first representative to Pretoria, South Africa in 1958, and since then has expanded our business to various fields and increased the number of offices. In the 1970s and the 1980s, we engaged in the large-scale infrastructure development, such as geothermal power projecting and airports project in Kenya, and oil exploration in Gabon and Angola. In the 1990s, 2000s, we made major investments in mineral resource-related projects. Now I would like to introduce some of our main projects in this region. Firstly, our partnership with Turkish partner Çelik Group. Çelik Group is one of the leading companies in Turkey, also operating in 7 industries and has a proven track record in many countries across Turkey, Eastern Europe, Africa, and so on. We partnered with Çelik for many years in the field of infrastructure and plant construction. In Africa, we have worked together on a variety of projects. For example, we have worked on a hydro power station project in Malawi, working on power and port infrastructure in Sudan, urea fertilizer and methanol co-production plant project in Senegal, and other large-scale infrastructure projects utilizing Japanese institutional finance. Next is off-grid power project. As you can see, there are still many people in Africa who live without access to electricity. Bbox provides clean, reliable, and affordable services such as electricity, lights, radios, TVs, refrigerators. We first invested in Bbox in 2019 and through using digital technologies such as mobile payment and remote monitoring, we have focused on the business that truly solve social issues. Olam is one of the world's leading food and agri-business companies. We concluded a business alliance with Olam in 2015 and have been working on the development of various cooperative projects globally. Africa is the continent where Olam was founded and where it has a large business space. So in addition to coffee, cocoa, and the sesame trading, we are looking to develop new business together. The mineral resource business is the longest history in our African operation. We have been involved in large-scale investments in ferroalloy, aluminum smelting, and other areas. Climate change, as you well know, is an urgent global issue affecting industries and the communities alike. We have set out our steps towards achieving a carbon-neutral society and have been working on the development of new projects related to sourcing battery materials. Nickel is one target, but we are also focusing on platinum group metals, which are also important materials for fuel cells and electrolyzer vitals in the coming hydrogen society. We have been involved in PGM-related trading since the 1970s to the present, maintaining a relationship with the suppliers in Africa and having a customer base in Japan and Asia. This shows our office in Tunisia. We established Tunis office in 1978. Today, I don't touch on it detail, sorry. As you can see, Mitsubishi Corporation has been engaged in various businesses in Africa for more than 65 years since the end of World War II. During that time, our business has also changed. Looking at the current global situation, including issues connected with the post-COVID-19 environment and the situation in Ukraine, it is becoming increasingly difficult to focus the future. I hope that the Decade 8 will be a catalyst for building a new relationship between Africa and Japan, and I hope that the Mitsubishi Corporation can play a part in this. Let us make Decade 8 a fruitful event together. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Makabe-san. Some key words from his presentation. He presented the history of Mitsubishi, a long and fruitful history with many track records throughout Africa and throughout the world. A leading company in infrastructure, a leading company in mineral resources, which is very important. But I think that he laid emphasis on energy. And Africa needs energy and access to energy. This is part of the economic and social impact of Mitsubishi Corporation policy. I think that they will put light in and on Africa, hopefully. He also said that he looked forward to more investment in Tunisia, which is definitely good news for us, meaning that Mitsubishi is already here from 1978 up to date, and will certainly keep on working in Tunisia. Thank you again. Now I'd like you to welcome Mr. Sekimoto Son, who is Director General of Maghreb Itochu company. Again, this is one of the biggest corporations, Japanese corporation in the world. And please, big applause for him. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Swahili. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Good morning. So, my name is Sekimoto, Tadashi Sekimoto, Director General de Itochu Corporation for Maghreb region. And today, so I have the honor to give you some small presentation of our company, Itochu Corporation. But frankly speaking, but frankly speaking, what we are doing is almost same as the Mitsubishi Corporation. So this is why I don't want to repeat the same excellent explanation given by Mr. Makabe. But I give only small presentation, and fortunately in English, parce que je ne peux pas parler français comme fluent comme Monsieur Maeda de Zeto Paris. Pardon. So our company, Itochu Corporation, is a trading and investment company, and one of the biggest in Japan. And what we are doing is almost same as Mitsubishi Corporation is doing worldwide. So we have also the worldwide coverage at this moment through 87 offices and subsidiaries doing trading and liaison work, and also more than 200 subsidiary companies doing other kind of trading, and also numerous investments. And of course, we are present in Africa. So in short, what we are doing is every kind of business imaginable, except something illegal. So our business in Tunisia is present since 1976. 2 years prior to Mitsubishi Corporation. Sorry. And well, I think in Tunisia, so you know the automotive brand, Isuzu, I think. And we have been supplying automotive production parts of Isuzu since 1980 to Kelwan. So Isuzu factory there in Kelwan. And we are very happy to see the great success of Isuzu brand in Tunisia. And in 2017, so we have started Suzuki passenger vehicle business in Tunisia. I'm very grateful for Tunisian government to support that business through the privatization of Suzuki distributor in 2016. And I was actually general manager in Tunisia from 2015 until 2019. So I was fully involved in that Suzuki business. And I'm very grateful for Tunisian business people, because I could make good money from the cooperation with the Tunisian businessmen. Well, and we have we have African-wide coverage with our 10 regional offices in Africa. And our detailed presentation and our investment and business ambitions and projects will be given to you in detail in the next session, starting from 2 o'clock, by Mr. Ishizuka. Could you please stand up? So he's a big boss of Itochu Africa, and he will give a detailed presentation of our ambition in Africa, of course, including Tunisia. And by the way, so he is a former champion of judo in Japan 30 years ago, and still very dangerous. So he is very happy to make good money with all of business friends. But if he has some problem, he can be very dangerous. Please pay attention. And well, so anyway, so yeah, at first I explained that I don't want to make a so long presentation because you are already tired. So I would like to invite all of you, our business friends in Africa, to the next session from 2 o'clock. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sakamoto-san. It was very interesting presentation once again, with a very light touch of humor, testifying to your open-mindedness, and maybe also presenting our colleague as judo martial art champion, means also that we have very good perspective in competitive market here in Africa. Thank you once again. Our last presentation goes to Mr. Maeda-san, Director, General Director of the Bureau, Paris Bureau of NEXI, that is Nippon Export and Investment Insurance. Please welcome.
Bonjour. Good morning. I'd like to express my deep gratitude to Mr. Ben-Abbas for hospitality and for having us here. And Excellencies, delighted guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to be here on behalf of NEXI, Nippon Export and Investment Insurance. My name is Hiroshi Maeda, head of NEXI Paris office. Today, I'd like to introduce NEXI supports and initiatives to accelerate business in Africa. And also, I'd like to share what should be done in financial aspects. Okay, first of all, I'd like to briefly share with you on NEXI, as some of you might not know well. NEXI is an export credit agency owned by 100% share of Japanese government, which provides official trade insurance to support trade transactions, overseas investment and lending by Japanese companies. We have 3 foreign offices in the world. Paris office covers more than 100 countries in Europe, Middle East, and the Africa region. NEXI supports Japanese companies through offering trade insurance, which covers risks not being covered by private insurances. Our export or loan insurance cover country risk and credit risk, and our investment insurance covers country risk. Next, I'd like to introduce NEXI's new initiative. NEXI introduced a new business strategy called LEAD initiative in response to global trend towards sustainable development and carbon neutrality. We set an ambitious target of our underwriting amount of 1 trillion yen or $100 billion by 2025. The LEAD initiative has 4 elements as indicated on this slide. We have been actively supporting projects with these lead elements, such as achieving sustainable carbon neutrality by taking more risks of new technology, promoting Japanese companies' international businesses in the digitalization sector, and further strengthening partnership with foreign governments and companies with the aim of development of economy and security for natural resources and food. I'd like to explain how NEXI can play an important role to make further commitment to the development and growth for African countries with related institutions. Since TCAT 7, we have focused on strengthening our support for Africa in cooperation with Japanese companies as well as African financial institutions. Our effort has been successful, with our underwriting volume in Africa having increased by amount almost double in just a year, from $3.3 billion in 2019 to $60.3 billion in 2020. In Tunisia, the total amount of understanding is about $50 million US. We see Tunisia cannot be regarded as a low-risk country in accordance with OECD guideline and put it in category G. Our underwriting policy here is open with some conditions, which means we evaluate projects case-by-case basis. Now, I'd like to briefly touch on our recent concrete projects that enhance supports for Africa. The first underwriting through the LEAD initiative was a loan insurance facility in Africa for $520 million US financing extended by a Japanese commercial bank to Afrexim Bank. It was followed by an additional $207 million US in March this year. This loan facility will ensure a stable procurement of COVID-19 vaccines and also support wide-ranging fields such as healthcare, sanitation, environment, education, trade in African countries that are important and key markets for Japanese companies. Additionally, this April, NEXI has decided to underwrite reinsurance from African Trade Insurance Agency, or ATI, on investment in telecom services that Japanese company will start in Ethiopia. This project will contribute to sustainable growth in Ethiopia by a Japanese company providing high-quality services in the digital sector. This is also the first joint project between ATI and NEXI. Under the Memorandum of Understanding at TCAT 7, NEXI has worked closely and intensively with ATI. Moreover, the revision of the Trade Insurance and Investment Act last month in Japan enables us to acquire capital share of foreign trade insurance institutions. Finally, I'd like to briefly share the outcomes of second Japan-Africa Public-Private Economic Forum held on May 3rd, which was co-organized by the government of Japan and the government of Kenya. As to the discussion of accelerating finance solutions in the forum, which I participated as a moderator, I'd like to share 3 points as follows. First, it was shared that further increasing the mobilization of private finance is indispensable for solving social issues, economic and social recovery from COVID-19, and the realization of sustainable society, including green and digital infrastructure in Africa. Second, it was also shared that the importance of accelerating financing solutions by introducing a new financing scheme, as well as strengthening cooperation among African regional institutions and Japanese public financial institutions. Third, several cases for expansion of trade and investment towards Africa were shared as successful examples of deep cooperation among public financial institutions in Africa and Japan. Furthermore, in order to further strengthen the cooperation between NEXI and regional financial institutions in Africa, NEXI has signed partnership agreement with Afreximbank and also MOU with Trade and Development Bank, or TDB, at the forum. As a closing remark, combined with these efforts and measures, as also indicated in the white paper for TICAD 8, we surely continue to deepen our partnership with multilateral development banks and also African regional financial institutions, aiming to provide solutions that accelerate Japanese companies' businesses in Africa. Thank you very much for your attention.
I think that we cannot end this session better than on finance and solutions. NEXI is certainly one of the main or the major actors on that area. He mentioned that there's a perspective of expansion in Africa, and he gave even the figure of moving from 2.6 in Tunisia to 6.3, which is a huge amount of money. The other point is about the openness on the principle of case-to-case project, which is absolutely within the frame of TICAD 8 once again. So financing and backing, the banking network is very important, and Nexus is working with all those institutions. One last element he laid the emphasis on is the idea of financing needs to be equated with financing solutions. And this is what you are providing here. Looking forward also for partnership agreements if things go well. Thank you so much. Thank you all for all these important presentations. We still have maybe 20 to 30 minutes at most for exchanging with the audience if you have questions. But please try to keep your questions within the frame of the TICAD and not the bilateral relationship between Tunisia and Japan. But before, yes? You have 10 minutes. Oh, I have 10 minutes, okay. But let me once again, because I missed the welcoming of His Excellency Minister of the Digital, the Minister of the Digital and the Statistics, from Algeria. Merci beaucoup, merci d'être là. Merci de nous honorer par votre présence. Je crois que c'est un signe très significatif, non seulement pour la Tunisie, mais pour l'ensemble de l'Afrique et de la TICAD, que représente votre présence ici aujourd'hui parmi nous. So here we are. Please, do you have questions? Yes. Let's begin. On va commencer avec Son Excellence, Monsieur le Ministre. Il faut peut-être un micro dans la salle, s'il vous plaît.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Je voudrais saisir le privilège de prendre la parole avec vous aujourd'hui pour dire 3 mots. Je ne ferai pas diversion, je ne serai pas long. D'abord, un mot chaleureux de remerciement pour l'invitation qui a été adressée au gouvernement algérien par les organisateurs pour assister à cette conférence internationale sur le financement de l'investissement et du commerce en Afrique. Le deuxième mot est un mot de félicitations pour les organisateurs, le Conseil des affaires Tunisie-Afrique, puis un mot aussi en direction du commissaire de la conférence, Sen Zarialish, pour la qualité de l'organisation et de la qualité de l'accueil. Vous également, M. Hedi Ben Abbas, président de la Chambre de commerce sino-japonaise, pour votre excellente modération du panel. Je dirais aussi, bien évidemment, un mot de satisfaction, pas très long, pour l'esprit dans lequel se déroule ce panel. Commencer la journée à 8 h du matin est un signal très fort. Le deuxième facteur de satisfaction, c'est la thématique et la méthodologie qui a été arrêtée par la préparation du TICAD. Une démarche que je note structurante, moderne, intégrée et inclusive. Elle
Merci.
est une invitation à tous les pays d'Afrique et on s'en félicite ici. Donc l'idée de soutenir, de présenter des projets réalisables, soutenables, bancables, implémentables, duplicables est une idée très généreuse. Très généreuse. Parce que toutes ces expériences que je viens d'entendre, et je remercie aussi bien évidemment tous les panélistes pour les efforts qui ont été faits afin de rendre plus intelligible la démarche. Donc toutes ces expériences méritent d'être connues et diffusées sur des plateformes pour faire des émules. Ce sont des expériences très précieuses. Il faut probablement les mettre sur une plateforme pour que chaque start-up, chaque idée de projet puisse trouver en quelque sorte une démarche pour démarrer, pour s'inspirer de tous ces magnifiques projets. Je vous dis là donc aussi que l'Algérie est partie prenante de cette initiative. Donc rendez-vous au TICAD 8 à la date arrêtée du 27 et 28 août 2022. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Ministre, pour vos mots d'encouragement et votre gentillesse. Je réitère ce que je disais au début de cette séance, que le livre blanc, qui comporte donc les projets à présenter à tous les investisseurs en Afrique et au Japon, qu'il est aussi ouvert à nos frères algériens. Et nous sommes prêts à recevoir vos propositions et à les intégrer dans ce livre blanc. On passe à d'autres questions si vous en avez. Si Nizar.
Excellencies and dear guests and friends, so thank you again for these brilliant presentations. Thank you, Sir Hedi, for your effort. Thank you, Excellency Ambassador of Japan in Tunisia. Sometimes when I'm hearing you, I have the impression that you have also Tunisian DNA in addition to your Japanese DNA. You are defending extremely well TICAD, also with the interest of Africa and Tunisia. So thank you again for all these efforts. Your presence here is confirming what we said at the beginning of this forum, is that we would like to really make complementarity between the different events for the agenda, for the benefits of the agenda of Tunisia and the African continent. My only message is really to strengthen what you already said and the great effort that the Japanese-Tunisian Chamber of Commerce did already so far for the White Book is really to enhance it further. We have already a good version. I saw it. We remember the deadlines 20th of June and 30th of June, definitely. And my big recommendation is to go much beyond what we have already today, because after that we need to conduct as much as we can good strategies, market studies, business plans to make these projects bankable and effective. And that's the main purpose of this effort. So again, thank you very much for your presentations, and see you soon.
Thank you. Any questions to the panelists, if possible? Okay, there's a question over there.
une question à nos amis japonais. Yahya Youssef, je suis de la diaspora tunisienne qui travaille à l'étranger dans des pays européens, asiatiques, etc., et des organismes, des sociétés dans le domaine de la technologie. La question qu'on pose en voyant votre livre, comment la diaspora tunisienne africaine peut jouer comme un levier de développement pour notre continent africain. Nous aussi, on a préparé un livre blanc qu'on va présenter pour notre décideur concernant le potentiel économique de la Tunisie. La Tunisie, ce n'est pas un petit pays. Singapour, Suisse, Luxembourg, c'est des pays, mais c'est un grand pays. La Tunisie, elle a un potentiel énorme. La proximité, quand on dit ressources humaines, c'est vague. La Tunisie, elle est la deuxième en Afrique au point de vue recherche. Elle a des recherches qui sont en train, c'est-à-dire d'attendre le savoir-faire japonais. Les bureaux d'Elisan et les bureaux d'assistance de Marubeni, de Mitsubishi, de Mitsui peuvent jouer un rôle très important comme un modèle économique pour le prototype et pour le marché. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous aider pour la mobilité des personnes, la mobilité des chercheurs, la mobilité, c'est-à-dire des startups, et l'accès au marché japonais? Nous, on n'a pas besoin d'argent. On a besoin de co-développement, de co-construction. On a besoin d'une autoroute. C'est l'autoroute de la technologie, comme l'autoroute de la soie. Nous aussi, on a besoin d'une autoroute. On a besoin aussi de co-développement. La Tunisie aussi dispose de proximité. Plusieurs câbles, fibres optiques passent devant la Tunisie. La Tunisie peut être un hub c'est-à-dire le big data et pour plusieurs industries. La Tunisie pour économie de la vie. La Tunisie, elle a beaucoup de médecins.
Merci.
Vous pouvez aller, j'ai terminé. Vous pouvez aller partout, vous trouvez les médecins en Tunisie. Tunisie pour être l'économie bleue. La Tunisie, elle est sur le territoire. La Tunisie, elle a beaucoup de choses. On a notre livre qu'on va présenter au début de l'été avec la porte ouverte, avec des projets, financement, et comment la Tunisie peut être, c'est-à-dire une plateforme pour l'Europe, c'est-à-dire la vérité, et non pas, c'est-à-dire des slogans.
Merci pour votre enthousiasme et votre message, il est parfaitement bien reçu. La Tunisie, effectivement, se positionne parfaitement pour être un partenaire stratégique pour le Japon, mais aussi jouer un rôle important au sein de l'Afrique, le continent qui a pris le nom de notre propre petit pays. Y a-t-il d'autres questions? Une dernière question. Je sais que le panel est très important. Je sais aussi que la salle est pleine. On doit quand même en profiter. C'est le principe même de ce genre d'événement. Une dernière question là-bas au fond.
C'est Hedi, ici.
Oui.
Voilà. Just the last question, maybe directly to the panelists, and maybe also to you. Taking also the opportunity to thank you, all of you, and taking also the opportunity to take the second part of the African proverb saying that if we want to go far, we need to go together. My question now, especially to all of you, and Gertu maybe in this direction, is about the possibility to have a dialogue platform. Joining my words and recommendations, also what was mentioned by His Excellency the Minister from Algeria and our colleague Nizar, is there the possibilities to have a dialogue platform? As Mr. Hedi mentioned, it was a lot of seminars, but exactly in this very, very movement's time, we need something continuing to have it really on the whole time. And this is maybe to you, Your Excellency the Ambassador, if there is the plan to have a platform of dialogue and continuation of coordination and cooperation with other investors, with other Chamber of Commerce, with other opportunities here for Africa and of course for Tunisia. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your keen interest. Je vous remercie pour votre intérêt très fort pour la TICAD. Nous allons sûrement organiser quelque chose pour faciliter les contacts entre les business africains et les business japonais. Et je crois que j'ai remarqué que dans le cadre de ce FITA, ils ont créé une plateforme qui facilite des B2B contacts et j'ai remarqué que ça a marché très bien. Donc sur ce modèle, peut-être je vais faire des recommandations à notre gouvernement pour faire quelque chose de ce genre. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much. They said that it is over. I wish we could, but he said that it is over. He is the general supervisor, so I cannot trespass his orders. Yes, I'm sorry for that. Just to wrap it up in one sentence, I'd like to say that I really have an ambition for my country. It's a very simple ambition. It is to make of Tunisia a strategic partner, economic partner for Japan. This is not wishful thinking, because I know that it is doable. Because I know that our Japanese friends have already set a foot in South Africa. They also set a foot in Kenya to cover Eastern Africa. But I think that they need also to set a foot in North and Western Africa, and Tunisia is a serious candidate for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your participation, and see you soon. Thank you.
Nous remercions tous les participants au niveau de ce panel. Nous remercions pour votre attention.